It's the holiday season, and a lot of times we want to give gifts during this season. And parents tend to be some of the most challenging people to get gifts for because they really have everything they need. So I get a lot of questions about what can I get my parents, and now add in COVID-19 restrictions where we can't be with each other. So I talked to my publishing company, and they have these marvelous mental fitness cards. I've used them before, I've talked about them, and I love to use them to connect with people. So here's what I'm suggesting is I'm going to put a link in this video, and you can actually order a set of cards for you and a set of cards for your parents. And that way you can each go through the card deck, if you will. And the card deck I've chosen is this one. It's Sharpen Your Senses. So we're going to use the 5 senses through travel through the United States. And this is just a fun card deck. And I have my husband in here who is going to play a parent. He's got white hair, so I think he can fulfill that. And we're going to just show you how these cards can be used in conversation. Now, because again, we're in COVID lockdown, your parents will probably not likely be in the same room with you. So this can be done over Skype, over Zoom, over whatever form, or it can just be done over the phone. And if your parents live in dementia care or assisted living communities, if you send this deck of cards to the activity directors, they can help facilitate this exchange, this connection. But it gives you a way to connect without relying on how are you, how's the food, and that kind of thing. So John, you pick a card and you pretend that you're my dad, or you're reading a card to me and we're on the phone. So he's now going to pick a card. And what category is the card in?
I've got a card that says site.
Okay.
And it says, of all the sites in Washington, D.C., including the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, and Smithsonian Museums, which would you like to see the most?
I think I would like to see I've seen the Lincoln Memorial, because it's so awesome. It's so huge. It's so awesome. You know? Hey, do you remember?
Well, that may be the one you want to see. I'd have to say the Smithsonian, because it's almost as big as like the world. It's got everything in it. I was there once when I was a kid, and to this day I remember seeing Lindbergh's plane hanging from the ceiling, unless I was in the wrong place. My memory is slipping.
Yep.
But seriously, it's got so much in it that you could spend a lifetime there.
And I remember traffic jams in Washington. That's what I remember, my dad beating on the steering wheel. Can you see where this can go? Even if Lindbergh's plane wasn't there, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're having conversations about interesting things, and you're working out your brains with the 5 senses.
Do you have a card?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I picked a smell. People on the east and west coasts of the U.S. can often smell the Atlantic or the Pacific Oceans. Have you been to one or both of these oceans? And how would you describe the smell?
Well, gee, I was at the Pacific when I was about 3. My parents tell me. Yeah. But I've spent a lot of time on the Atlantic, having lived in Connecticut. The smell, it was always kind of tangy. We spent a lot of time in Connecticut and Massachusetts and Maine along the shore. The whole thing with lobsters and fish and seaweed. You could just go on and on. Lobster bakes, and 1,000 memories come flooding back.
And the smells always bring memories for me. The smell one dovetails into a taste for me, because I've tasted, mussels on both from the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans.
Cool.
And so you can taste the difference. And oysters, you can taste the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So my suggestion to you, if you're looking for a creative gift for your parents, and for you actually, because it gives you some fun things to talk about that get outside of sometimes the emotional baggage. This is a great way to enjoy a gift with your parents and find different things to talk about and different ways to connect. Again, The link is in this in the description, and you can order them. And there's a special pricing, and it's so enjoyable. Happy holidays, and enjoy connecting with your parents.